Nepal-India border dispute has escalated after India unilaterally published a new political map, including Nepal's Kalapani region as its own territory. The Nepal government has deployed teams of the armed police force to maintain border security. However, they have largely remained inactive. Despite the armed police force demanding for additional infrastructure and human resources to maintain border security, the government has remained indifferent towards the request. Good morning, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha, and these are the headlines of the hour. Government reluctant to increase human resources and infrastructures for border security. APF says 14,000 additional security personnel needed. The government determines a ceiling on interest rates after cooperatives found charging interest arbitrarily from customers. A second Ebola vaccine to be offered to around 50,000 people in the Democratic Republic of Congo as part of a major clinical trial. And the fourth edition of the Emerging Cup cricket tournament starting from today. Nepal taking on India today in the first match of the tournament. The long-standing Nepal-India border dispute has escalated in recent time after the southern neighbor released a new political map, including Nepal's Kalapani region. The government has assigned the armed police force, APF, for maintaining border security. However, the teams assigned for the purpose have largely remained inactive. Despite the armed police force demanding for additional infrastructure and human resources to maintain border security, the government has left the requests unheard. Nepal and India share a border of 1,800 kilometers in total length. Kalapani in Darchula district falls within Nepal's border. However, India has deployed its security force in the region for decades now and has been claiming the region as its own territory. Meanwhile, the armed police force assigned to maintain security at the border have yet to deploy its teams in the region. This has raised serious questions on the issue of border security. India has built border outpost security bases at a distance of 3 to 5 kilometers along the border with Nepal. The ratio in the case of Nepal is 1 border outpost for every 17 kilometers. The APF increased the outpost from 20 to 107, which is still far less compared to the total number that India has. Even if Nepal wants to establish 1 outpost for every 2 at the Indian side, Nepal will need 240 outposts. The armed police force that is assigned for maintaining border security has 37,000 security personnel. The APF has been using this human resource for petty purposes, from controlling crowds to providing security at the border customs offices.
दूरी 17 किलोमिटरको हाराहारीमा आउँछ। अहिले उत्तरतिर हामीले बीओपी को रूपमा खटाइसकेको अवस्था चाहिँ छैन। र हामीले सोचे अनुसार जब हामीले 248 बीओपी हामी दक्षिणको सिमानामा राख्न सक्यौं भने यसको दूरीलाई हामीले एउटा बीओपी देखि अर्को बीओपी को दूरी हामी 7 किलोमिटरमा झार्ने प्रयासमा छौं।
According to APF, they had demanded the government for additional human resources and infrastructures long time back. However, instead of addressing the demand, the government even cut off the post for additional Inspector General of Police who looks after the border security. APF says it needs an additional 14,000 security personnel at the earliest to maintain security at 17 posts at the border with China and 265 posts at the border with India. Following the recent Kalapani episode, the armed police force has roped in its army personnel deployed for the Ministry of Industry and Department of Inland Revenue and has been preparing to send them for the border security purpose. Analysts have questioned why the government has not deployed the army personnel used for the security of former home ministers for the purpose. We'll take a short break here. We have more news coming up. Welcome back. The government had determined a ceiling on interest rates after cooperatives were found charging interest arbitrarily from customers. However, the cooperatives have now found a new way of earning more money in the form of service charge, which has been found to be up to 5% of the loan amount. The government monitoring body, meanwhile, has remained indifferent. We have a report.
3 months ago, the Department of Cooperatives implemented a reference rate for cooperatives prohibiting cooperatives to charge interest rates not exceeding 16% on loan amount. The new rule further says that if cooperatives charge 16% on the loan amount, It must provide an interest of 10% to its depositors. The rule states that the cooperatives should maintain the loan-to-deposit ratio at 6% and not more. However, majority of the profit-oriented cooperatives have been charging customers heftily for their services on loan. Although the Department of Cooperatives has received complaints against cooperatives that are charging additional fees, it is yet to take action against them. The department is preparing to amend the provisions of service charge. There are around 35,000 cooperatives currently in operation across the country. The department, however, does not know how many microfinance institutions are charging additional service charges to its customers. A legal provision allows cooperatives to charge service fees to its customers not exceeding 1%. However, this decision needs to be approved through a General Assembly. But due to the lack of regular monitoring, cooperatives have been charging customers service fees arbitrarily. The Cooperatives Act of 2074 allows the registrar to determine the service charges for the cooperatives. However, the registrar says the right is yet to be exercised. It is high time that the Department of Cooperatives ensures that these cooperatives maintain the loan-to-deposit ratio at 6% and take actions against those who breach the law.
And it's time now for the international update. A second Ebola vaccine is to be offered to around 50,000 people in the Democratic Republic of Congo as part of a major clinical trial. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine will be used alongside a vaccine made by Merck, which has already been given to around 250,000 people. Merck's jab has now been approved by the World Health Organization. More than 2,100 people have died in the Democratic Republic of Congo in the second largest Ebola outbreak on record. The World Health Organization's approval of Merck's one-dose vaccine is based on it being satisfied of its safety and efficacy. The European Commission has also approved the vaccine. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which requires 2 doses given 56 days apart, will be available to adults and children over 1 year of age living in 2 areas of the Democratic Republic of Congo city of Goma, where there is no active transmission of the deadly disease. We have more news coming up, but right now it's time for another short break. Welcome back. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked the residents of Panchthar district, why has the government brought an education policy that commercializes education and limits the access to the poor? Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
अत्यन्तै ठुलो लगानी गरेर मात्र गुणस्तरीय शिक्षा प्राप्त गर्ने अवस्था रहनु यो सरकारको नारा एकातिर वास्तविकता तथ्य अर्कातिर भएको जस्तो अवस्था देखिएको छ।
शिक्षा र स्वास्थ्य जस्ता चीजहरूलाई व्यापारीकरण गर्नु भनेको यो सिद्धान्तच्युत भएकाहरूको भाते पुँजीवादी कुरा मात्रै हो। यसले व्यक्ति सत्तालाई मजबुत बनाउँछ।
राजनीति भनेको कमाउनको लागि गरिएको भन्ने भावना अलिक बढी माथिल्लो तहमा पुगेकाहरूको त्यो भावना बढी भएको महसुस गरेको छु मैले।
And it's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And here's the question. What's your take on cooperatives charging customers arbitrarily? Your options are A, profit-oriented mentality, B, influence of tightened interest rate policies, and C, weak monitoring. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And it's time now for the sports news.
Sports news.
The 4th edition of the ACC Emerging Cup Cricket Tournament is starting from today. Nepal is playing its first match of the tournament against India today. The match will kick off at 8:45 this morning, just a few minutes from now. This is the first formal cricket tournament being held under the captaincy of Gyanendra Malla. The teams of the 5 test-playing nations and 3 associates have been divided into 2 groups in the tournament. Nepal is in Group B alongside India, Bangladesh and Hong Kong, while defending champions Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Afghanistan and Oman are in Group A. Nepalese spin prodigy Sandeep Lamichhane and former captain Paras Kharka are not in the team due to their participation in the T10 League cricket tournament, with matches starting from tomorrow in Abu Dhabi, UAE. And it's time now for our special segment, Glorious History.
On 13th of November 1998, former US President Bill Clinton reached an out-of-court settlement with Paula Jones, agreeing to pay her $850,000 to drop the sexual harassment lawsuit that led to the worst political crisis of his career and only the third presidential impeachment inquiry in American history. After more than 4.5 years of scorched earth legal warfare, Clinton and Jones brought a sudden end to the case with a 4-page deal in which he acknowledged no wrongdoing and offered no apology. Several witnesses disputed Jones' account, including her sister and brother-in-law. These witnesses contended that she had described her encounter with Clinton as happy and gentle. In addition, Jones had claimed to friends that Clinton had a particular deformity on his penis, a claim that was revealed to be false by investigators. In April 1998, the case was dismissed by Judge Susan Weber Wright as lacking legal merit, but Jones' suit gained traction following Clinton's admission to having an affair with Monica Lewinsky in August 1998. This admission indicated that Clinton may have lied under oath when he testified in the Jones case that he had never had a sexual relationship with Lewinsky.
And now, before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Government reluctant to increase human resources and infrastructures for border security. APF says 14,000 additional security personnel needed. The government determines a ceiling on interest rates after cooperatives found charging interest arbitrarily from customers. A second Ebola vaccine to be offered to around 50,000 people in the Democratic Republic of Congo as part of a major clinical trial. And the 4th edition of the Emerging Cup Cricket Tournament starting from today. Nepal taking on India today in the first match of the tournament. And that's all for the moment. Keep watching Kantipur Television HD for more news and entertainment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.